Well, the Prime Minister and opposition leader will be straight back on the campaign trail this morning after they went head-to-head in their first leaders' debate. Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton clashed over inflation, energy policy, healthcare, migration and funding for essential services, with the Western Sydney audience of undecided voters backing Anthony Albanese as the winner.
There was a noticeable omission, with barely a reference to Donald Trump, the man who, of course, upended this campaign's first week with his tariffs. We'll have the latest from Wall Street in just a moment. But first, let's head to our reporters on the campaign trail. Steph Dalzell is following the Prime Minister and Jake Evans is covering the opposition leader, and they are both starting the morning in Sydney, where this debate was. Steph, to you first. Will the Albanese camp be buoyed at all by this result?
Well, James, the Labor camp certainly will be heading into today with a spring in its step after what was declared a victory for them last night by the audience in attendance. The debate canvassed well-worn ground for the political leaders. We heard Anthony Albanese use the lines he's been consistently using throughout this election campaign, things like inflation being down, wages being up, interest rates starting to fall. There were also some questions that allowed Labor to tread on comfortable ground, things like education and healthcare, and Labor believes that that's not a coincidence. That's a sign that both their message is cutting through, and also they say it means that they have been able to both anticipate and respond to voter concerns. There was that one exchange, though, a notable exchange, where a voter revealed that when she went to the doctor, she had to use both her Medicare card and a credit card, and a senior Liberal source said afterwards, "We couldn't have scripted that any better, because Anthony Albanese has consistently been saying you should only have to use your Medicare card when you go to the doctor." Finance Minister Katie Gallagher, a close supporter of Anthony Albanese, was in attendance last night. Let's take a listen to what she had to say afterwards.
I think we can see the contrast between what Labor is offering about plans for a better future and the Liberal Party through Peter Dutton, very negative, no explanation about his nuclear costings, refusing to rule out all the cuts that he will have to do to pay for that, and refusing to take responsibility for the decisions he took when he was last in government.
And Steph, it's unclear how many people would have actually watched this debate in full. You've been speaking to some people who did. What has the reaction been?
Yes, I have been. Well, unsurprisingly, the Labor camp is declaring this a win for them. The Liberal camp is also declaring this a win for them. It's worth noting that the audience result indicates this is still a tight race based on that, and also, of course, other polling. And it's also worth noting that we've still got 4 weeks to go, almost 4 weeks to go in this election campaign. A lot can happen in a single day in politics, let alone almost 4 weeks. I spoke to voters on their way out. The results were mixed. Let's take a listen.
A lot of spin on both of them. It's a bit hard to sort of sift through the truth.
It's really hard because I came in thinking maybe Liberal, and now I'm coming out thinking, oh, maybe it's Labor.
I was undecided, but after listening tonight, I'm definitely going with Labor.
I'll wait for the rest of the campaign trail and see what's offering over the next few weeks, and D-Day will be here before we know it.
Now, how significant is this? Well, debates offer very little reward and carry huge risks. So in the absence of any gaffes or stumbles, we can expect that it will largely be business as usual for the leaders heading into the rest of this campaign, although you could argue that the result will give Anthony Albanese a psychological advantage as we head into day 12.
All right, let's see. And Jake, to you now. How is the Liberal Party feeling about last night's performance?
Good morning, James. Yes, well, Peter Dutton didn't walk away with the win, but there were no real blows landed against him either. So the Liberal camp fairly happy with last night's performance. We heard opposition leader Peter Dutton seek to highlight the last 3 years of cost of living pain endured by Australians, calling it confronting to see most of the 100-strong audience's hands raised when he asked who was doing it tough. Anthony Albanese was declared the victor. I think it was a 45-35 split, the rest undecided. But Liberal Senator James Patterson saying that Peter Dutton put on a strong showing.
Well, I have to admit I'm probably a bit biased there, but it was really a very strong performance from Peter Dutton tonight. I think he really, put in a strong showing, dealt with a lot of the scare campaigns that Labor's tried to raise in this campaign, and got our positive message out there about how Australia can be better, about how we can be stronger, about how we can get back on track.
There we go. Everyone's claiming victory this morning, Jake, but that is unsurprising.